And it is time for our Sunday yarn chat. And I am in a different location right now. I am trying to I'm in the process of setting up a more aesthetically pleasing um video area, but right now this is what we've got. This is it right now. And today is Sunday, the 2nd of March, which, do you know what that means? Do you know what that means? That means tomorrow is Master Skein Twister Dave's birthday. So whether you're watching me live right now or on replay later, go ahead and wish Master Skein Twister Dave a happy birthday. I'm not going to tell you how old he is, but y'all can probably guess. So happy birthday, Dave. It's tomorrow. And Dave has this really strange custom. He takes his birthday off every year. Now, you're going to think, a lot of people take their birthdays off every year. Right. Dave does it for a different reason. So about 20 years ago, he made a huge, momentously bad mistake at work. Huge, which thankfully now, 20 years later, a lot of the office has changed over. People don't really remember it. But a couple of the people who are still there do, and it's a joke. So, I mean, it's fine now, but, it was a joke. So, basically, he did that on his birthday, accidentally, as a mistake. So from now on, it's been his habit of taking his birthday weekend off, or his birthday day off, so that way he doesn't mess something up again like that. And I guess when you're in the IT sector, that's a good thing to do, is not mess something up like that. So he is on a long weekend this weekend, and yeah. So today I wanted to talk about projects that don't bring you joy. We all have those projects, right? Now, you know me, if you've been following me for any length of time, I don't do fast knitting, okay? For me, knitting is relaxation, it's stress relieving, okay? It's something to keep me from messing with my fingers, so I don't. That's how I got to grow out my nails, was I stopped, biting on my fingers and everything. So for me, that's what knitting is. So tell me if that's what knitting is for you. Tell me below in the comments. You see all these people online and they are producing all these things and they all look so perfect, like they could be in magazines. And you know what? I have a feeling that's not the majority of us out there. The majority of us out there probably are not out there, producing, magazine photograph worthy images of our projects. I know that's me. When I post something, you're gonna see probably a hole unless I've gone in and fixed it underneath. You're probably gonna see stitches that are perfect or twisted, and besides the fact that I'm left-handed and I learned how to knit really strangely. I mean, really, really strangely is how I learned to knit. Yep, looks like we're getting some comments in. Oh, looks like we're getting some spam in. So great, we got the bots in today. Thanks for joining us today, bots. I'll make sure all of those are deleted. Great, now the bots are sending me hearts. Oh my gosh. Why do I even bother going live on Facebook? So, oh my gosh. So apparently I can go in and delete people because they just said it. So let me find out. I'm going to try and figure out a way to turn off comments because chat filter. None. There we go. No messages. You guys will be able to comment on this once I'm done because, yeah, bots. See, that's another real thing about going live. Normally I go live on StreamYard and they filter all that stuff for me and I don't have to deal with it like you do on YouTube. So no criticisms to the YouTube. Don't not show me because of that. Okay, let's get off that topic before I get censored on this one. So we're not all perfect knitters, and it's okay. It is really okay. You know, the things I've learned as I've gotten older, as I've aged. I'm now 29, in case you hadn't noticed that. I'm 29 now. Um, yeah. So, the things I've learned growing older is that, yeah, I had Tyler when he was 4. Yeah, when I was 4. Yeah. So, the things I've learned in these years is that it doesn't matter. Do what makes you happy. And if your knitting isn't as perfect as the next person's, that's okay. It took me years to want to show my projects online. In fact, I'm still nervous about it half the time. I'm a yarn dyer. I design patterns. I sell to thousands of people. I still don't like showing my projects online because I'm not the best knitter in the world. And you know what? That's okay. It really is. And I want you guys to understand that it's okay. It's something I've learned to come to terms with, and hopefully y'all are learning the same thing too. So show us your pictures, okay? I've been a plus size knitter, knitting slow. So if I'm knitting a sweater or something, I'm looking at a half-year commitment with how fast I knit. And especially if I've got to, rip back or anything like that. So, I'm not one of these people who can turn around a Rhinebeck sweater in 2 to 3 weeks. That's just never going to happen for me. Um, so just learn to become comfortable with your knitting, okay? This is for you. This isn't for anybody else. I mean, if you're giving it as gifts, I give gifts that aren't perfect, right? Because it's the thought that counts. Because really, people enjoy a handmade gift. They're not going to look and notice that you twisted a few stitches and you had your loops on backwards, or you didn't pick up some of your stitches right when you're having to count and pick up stitches. Nobody's going to notice that. Or if that your eyelets aren't as big, your yarn overs aren't all uniform perfectly. People aren't going to notice, people aren't going to care, because they're just so happy to receive a handmade gift. And you know what? It adds to it, because nowadays there's machines out there that can look like they're hand knitting, but they're still perfect. So if you have a little bit of an oopsie in your project, guess what? It makes it look even more handmade. So that way you don't look like you bought something from the store, okay? I love knitting baby blankets. In fact, a few years ago, I made some quilts for coworkers. I made some actually quilted quilts with fabric. I'm not a quilter. I'm not a great quilter. I just set up my sewing machine in my room, in my office, and I just made some quilts because it was fun. Were they perfect? No, not by any means. They probably weren't even straight. But guess what? People didn't care. They were just excited to receive a handmade gift instead of something bought at a big box baby store or something. So don't be afraid. Don't feel like you can't do it, okay? That's the one thing I want to try to tell you guys. Don't feel like that you don't measure up, because you do. You do. And it's okay. Okay? We're getting ready soon to start, all the sock challenges and everything that's coming up. If you can't knit a sock in a week, okay, that's fine. If you haven't finished your advent calendar from last year, neither have I. I'm on day 3. I mean, I dye yarn every month for a club and ship it out. I dye special collections. I come up with a pattern every month for the club. I'm busy. Okay, I haven't finished my advent. Every year I have a goal to stay on track with my advent. I got to day 4 this year, and I'm just like, I can't get this done. I got too much other things to do. I can't get this done. So I made it to day 4. Of course, it took me all the way to like the end of December to get to day 4, but that's okay. And what are y'all drinking today? I have my swig mug, and I am having Propel, my grape Propel, because this is the only way I can get all my water in. This is a 40 ounce. I go through at least 1 of these a day, if not 2. I try to get my 2 in of these a day. But again, Don't judge. A lot of people like to drink their water plain. I really don't like plain water. If I'm going to get my water in, it's going to be flavored with grape Propel. And that's how that is. So while I'm chatting with you today, I have decided that my shawl here does not bring me joy. I used too small of needles. I made a lot of mistakes. And I'm like, why am I still working on this? Why am I still working on this shawl? It doesn't bring me joy. So, live today, guess what I'm doing? While I talk to you, I'm going to make sure I catch my stitch markers while I do this. These are some wonderful stitch markers from Mad Cow Mandy Designs. She has them on her Etsy store. Look at those. I love them. Okay. Love it. Smooth, won't catch on anything. They're so tiny, it's hard. Okay, there you go. They're so cute. They're so tiny. They're so wonderful. Go check out Mad Cow Mandy. She does an amazing job with the stitch markers. You know, she's designed a lot of things for me. She's, I think she's working on helping me with a new design for something coming up. And if you're in the annual, if you're doing the annual knit along, don't worry, you haven't missed the first 2 months. I was late getting the yarn to Meredith, so we are starting the knit along with the actual pattern for the log cabin blanket. We're starting that in March, so for the March one. And I had all of my increases sectioned off. This was a see, now another something that's perfect. It begins with a C. Not semicircular, not circular. Crescent shawl that I was designing. And it just, I got this far with it. Doesn't bring me joy. Oh, and let me show you the end stitch markers. So the end one is actually, Wendy sent me these, and I will drop her link to her Shopify store in the comments below so you can check her out, and also Mad Cow Mandy. But Wendy sent me this. So there's one. Halfway. I'm halfway, guys. So let's go over here. But why waste time on things that don't bring us joy, right? If it doesn't bring us joy, stop doing it. If we feel that it's more of a curse than a blessing, why bother? It's pretty much everything in life, right? Simplify. You know, spend time with the family and the friends, and don't get tied up in all the details. This is another one that Wendy sent me. Isn't that pretty? She makes really, really cute stitch markers. I like putting them on the ends for, ta-da! I just gained the needle back. Look at that. This is the first time I have frogged something in a while, and I'm excited for it. I really am. Doesn't bring me joy, doesn't need to stay, right? Because honestly, it was a chore to work on. So let's just don't worry about it. I've got a few new designs in the hopper for t-shirts. We are doing a t-shirt for crocheters now. We are doing a knitter's t-shirt. And we are doing just one fun one a month because sometimes I just like to wear a fun t-shirt, and it doesn't have to be knitting themed or yarn themed. I just want like a cute little St. Patrick's Day t-shirt or something, you know? And sometimes, honestly, some months I draw a blank and I'm like, okay, how many times can I like come up with a ball of yarn and a knitting quote and put it on yarn and put it on a t-shirt. Sometimes I need a little something different. So if you're with me on that, then that's great. So I don't know if you guys have heard, probably if you've been listening to me for a while, you know that I recently lost like 80 pounds. Probably gained some of it back over Christmas, to be quite frank. But I was knitting this sweater, and I'm gonna have to go and frog it. It's in cotton. I love, you guys know I love knitting with DK with 100% Pima, and I love it. In Florida, it's for t-shirts that I can wear all year. It doesn't get all funky on me or too warm. It's breathable, and the Pima cotton has a beautiful sheen to it. Looks really great. What did I do here? I stuck. Hold on. I gotta put my glasses on for this. But when I made it, I guess I thought it was a little bit heavier than I was. And I also thought, I didn't realize I was going to lose weight because I've been working on this sweater now for about 2 years. Because I told you I don't knit quick, and sweater got pushed down to the bottom of my priority list. It became a UFO, and now I'm probably going to have to frog it. I only have because it was a bottom up with some lace work at the bottom. I'm probably going to frog it. But that's okay, because when I started it, I did it with the wrong size. So, and if you guys are watching me live, I cannot see any comments. I've turned them all off right now, so we don't get hit with bots on here. So, but tell me in the comments if you're watching me live or on replay. But here we go. We're about halfway done getting this back, and maybe I will find something else that brings me joy that I can knit with this. If you saw my video the other day on Thursday, I used this in a video to talk about shawl gauge, and I showed examples of 2 different shawls that I'm working on, and one of them was with a needle 2 sizes bigger than this. And the drape is so much better. I really just love the drape. But yep, just rolling it back on top of itself into a ball. I was going to do a cake, so that way I could put this back on a yarn caddy, one of my yarn holders. Or my yarn buddies. I think that's the name I started giving them, were yarn buddies. But I decided to just roll it into a ball because it was here and I was here, and that's okay. That's okay. It really is okay. So Dave's going outside. He's, oh my gosh. Okay. Do any of you have somebody like this in your life? Outside staining, right? Painting, staining some things, has to be up on a ladder, like 30 feet in the air. Okay. And I'm just like, okay, honey, you're not the same guy you were 20 years ago, okay? He's 50, okay? Don't tell him I said that, but he's 50. I mean, come on. Makes me nervous seeing him up on the ladder, and he's got a bad back, too. So, well, at least I thought that's where he was headed, but he's got the dogs out right now for a walk. He's walking them in the woods, I can see. Looks like they're going up that way. But we're almost done with this. So tell me in the comments what brings you joy, what doesn't bring you joy. Do you frog when something doesn't bring you joy? I do. Because quite honestly, we don't have time for that, right? We're mothers, we're daughters, we're sisters, we're aunts, we're wives, significant others, maybe hold a full-time job. You know, for me, I know I have a lot of, my mom has Alzheimer's, and so a lot of energy is spent on that, and trying to, you know, getting her to doctor's appointments and things like that. So things that bring me joy, that's it. That is it. You know, one thing that doesn't bring me joy? Heels. I love knitting socks. I hate knitting heels. Oh my Lord. When I go to knit a heel, it's like, can I save this for the end, please? But I found an awesome way to do a heel. You don't, well, you do pick up stitches. Never mind, I shouldn't have said that. But honestly, I'll probably just go back to my wrap and turns. But the last few patterns I've written, I've put in this new heel where you basically, you decrease, knit a couple rows, and then you increase, but then you've got to go back and pick up the stitches. So look at that. I'm almost done. This is awesome. So it's frogged. I frogged it live. It didn't bring me joy. It was the wrong size needles. I've been knitting on this for a while. Now I do have a pair of socks that I was knitting on this with. Socks is what I'm going to finish because I took the yarn away from the socks to do this. So I have this little bit here left. So let's see. That was left over, I think, from the socks I was doing, but I only knit the one sock. I suffer from second sock syndrome. I don't know if you guys know that about me. Hi, my name is Jenna, and I suffer from second sock syndrome. I don't know why. I have a lot of mismatched socks. I'll knit one because I get to make one for the pattern. That's all I really need is one for the pattern to put as a photo on the pattern. And then after that, I'm kind of over it and moving on to the next one. Also might be because I just don't have a lot of time. Who's with me on the lot of time thing? And you just want to be able to sit there and knit and have conversations or watch TV or listen to a podcast or an audiobook. There you go. There you go. All done. Regained it. So happy. It's back in its little hohi bag. Not saying I'm obsessed with hohi bags, but who doesn't love a good hohi bag? Okay, look at that. Love it. It's so cute. It's what I put my sock yarns in when I wear my socks in when I'm knitting because they just fold up so small. They're so great. Take them on the go. You know what I also use sometimes? If I'm in the car for a long period of time and Dave and I are going somewhere and I need to knit and have it all convenient. Don't laugh. Do not laugh. But did you know yarn fits nicely in a mug and then you run the yarn up the straw and you knit from there and it fits nicely in a cup holder. On the go tip for you. You're welcome. Let's see, it's the beginning of March. We are getting ready for spring market season. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna do a whole separate video on that probably next week, getting ready for spring market season. So tell me how you guys get ready for spring market season, but we'll do a whole new one next week about that. But thank you so much. I have kept you guys online for 23 minutes now, babbling about nothing. I hope you've enjoyed my rambling this week. Don't forget to hit the button to subscribe, like, comment, and I think that's all the calls to action I'm supposed to give you guys. You can tell I'm not a professional podcaster. I'm just me, sitting in a corner by the computers while I fix this so I can have a better photography area to be able to share with you in the future. Again, not a formal, professional looking anything. I'm just me dyeing yarn for you. Have a great day. Do what brings you joy. I'll see you next week. Bye now.